Rory McIlroy ends up showing us something that we are desperate to see from our athletes, and golfers. Show us that you care as much as we do. Show us that it means something to you after not winning a major tournament in 10 years, and this one being the hole on your resume. It is really rare to see someone that happy putting on the green jacket at the country club, because they are pretty staid about their emotions there. When Jessica mentions Tiger and the Masters, I think I could say to the entirety of the audience, one snapshot, all time, golf, give it to me. And it's Tiger chasing a putt at the Masters to the hole, and then showing you the emotion of that robot that you know that has been like groomed since birth to be a robot that doesn't have a lot of public emotion. If you give me one snapshot on golf, not this century, ever, the one I'm going with is Tiger following a putt to the hole, pointing at it, and then just coming through with the emotion of it. And then yesterday I felt something similar with the way that Rory put on that jacket, caring about having that jacket more than anybody watching.
Yeah, the image of him falling to his knees, that's an all-time golf photo. There are so many great photos of that, and each time I flip through the photos, I'm like, this is the one. This is the one. And they just keep getting better and better. And it was really cool for him to win that. And I must admit, I wasn't a big Rory guy. I wanted to see, I guess it played out perfectly, because I didn't really know how badly I wanted to see him have that moment. I just knew that I wanted to see him overcome adversity. And for a while there on the front nine, it looked like he wasn't going to have to, because he had been dominating so much. For him to falter the way that he did, which was so on brand and replicates so many of the great collapses that he's had in his career, and still overcome with great shots, it meant so much because of how it had to go down for him to really conquer those demons in profound ways. And it was high drama. I mean, you got people hooting and hollering for golf at bars. It's crazy.
Well, thank you for saying that, because put it on the poll, please, Juju at Le Batard Show. Did Rory try to Rory? Because I would have liked somebody great to really be putting pressure on him to see how that would have gone. Like one of the greats. I would have liked for him to not be able to falter because somebody was coming after him like that. But when you mention sounds from bars at regarding golf, this is something that I do all the time and have been doing it since my wife and I met, because she does not care about sports and we live over a sports bar. So there are a variety of noises that come from the sports bar, and depending on both the schedule and the sound, she'll say, "And what's that?" And I'll be like, "That's Premier League," or whatever, because of what time of day it is. Yesterday, for the first time, and I'm saying she has asked me this hundreds of times, and it's always football, or that's a championship college basketball game, or that's a playoff game in college football. Yesterday, for the first time, we're walking the dog, and the bar explodes. And she's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Golf." And she's like, "No, it isn't."
It's the first time you've ever responded with golf, right?
Correct.
You've never been able to say, "That's golf."
Never. She didn't even believe me. She did not believe me, because what was then happening is a sound that you do not hear in any other sport except soccer, which is, oh, on a putt. You don't hear that during a football game.
It's rare when that sport delivers in that way. It was the first playoff since 2017, and it was shaping up to be such a dramatic Sunday, and Bryson was going to be that guy. A potential all-time great chasing Rory and being the obstacle. And Bryson had his meltdown, and you thought, okay, well, Rory's just going to be consistent the entire time, and that's how he's going to put all these criticisms to bed. But I kind of want to see him have to deal with it. I want to see him make a pressure-filled putt. I want to see him miss a pressure-filled putt and then come back and hit great shots and nail a pressure-filled putt. And Rose had the day that he had. It was kind of weird because he was out on the range. You would have loved for the pairing and that additional pressure to be like literally right on top of him. But, man, that was just majestic. That was a great tournament the entire time. That was a great final round, especially the back nine. I'm so happy that it played out the way that it did. And it is pretty rare. There are no upset golf fans. Even if you're a live golf guy, even if you hate Rory, you understand what that story meant. There is not a single person that even casually follows golf that isn't super overjoyed for Rory McIlroy. And I'm so happy Rory met that moment with the emotion that everybody watching attached to it, because he was very clearly wearing it. It may not have been visible as he's walking down 16, 17. You can pick up on that, but the emotional release of that moment was an all-time payoff.
And then afterwards, he just admits, first hole, nervous. What other sports do you get that, where it's just he double bogeys the first hole, and it's just clear that this all-time great athlete is just nervous. And then he overcomes it, goes on a stretch, gets the lead, and then on 13, double bogeys, hits it in the water. I can't remember in any golf round. Usually in golf, you're either hot for a whole round, like the back and forth of choking, getting hot, choking again, getting hot was just... And I admit, I went into this, I was rooting against Rory. Wow. Just because I've always kind of been indifferent on Rory, and I think that the storyline of him needing a Masters was really all golf has at the moment. So I was like almost nervous for golf, almost rooting for the storyline to continue. But you see the emotion, and I flipped. I was like happy for him. Like Mike said, nobody's watching that. Even if you're rooting against Rory, you get how long he's been 11 chances to get the fourth major. And every other golfer that has all the majors has done it in 3 chances or less. 11 tries it took him. Just brutal.
You were rooting against Rory?
I was. But not in a way, not like anti. I don't dislike Rory. I just wanted to see.
Who did you want to win on Sunday?
Bryson? I had money on Oberg.
Oh, yeah.
That's tough.
I had pretty much everybody but Rory. I was betting for Rory to collapse, and
well, that's different than, I guess that's, if you're betting, it's not different than rooting against him. But
this may come as a shock. I also like Bryson DeChambeau, despite him doing a lot of things that
doesn't really come as a shock.
What?
I don't think that comes as a shock.
Really?
No.
Bryson has kind of done work to
corporate cleanser.
His image has flipped a little bit. Like, I know that he still has the live stuff, but Bryson with his YouTube channel, I feel like, the high fives. It was funny, Bryson, because he is riding hey, I'll talk to fans. Because Rory famously doesn't even look at fans. So Bryson was very excited with the high-fiving fans until he went 6 over the first 4 holes. Bad. And you could see him just being like, I still got to do this high-five thing, even though I'm choking.
It was interesting, though, that Rory ended up playing against Rose, who was ahead of him, because when that happened, like it felt like it. Like you said, Chris, it would have been easier if Bryson was having this bad round. Yeah. Rory started off sluggish, but then started playing better, and he just sort of coasted home. But Justin Rose had like the round of his life on Sunday. It took it to the playoff, and I thought that made it even more interesting. And so then Rory goes into the playoff against someone who's won a major but has lost in a playoff before, who he's friends with, who he knows really well. And so it just made it a really interesting dynamic at the end that it was those two playing for the Masters win against one another instead of Bryson, who had sort of lost it early in the first half of the day.
I would have thought that if it was Bryson versus Rory, I think Rory's head is in a different place. I think the fact that it was Justin Rose, he's friends with Justin Rose, I actually think that helped Rory. I feel like if it was like somebody like Bryson, then we might have seen Rory get in his head again.
It's the only way it could have maybe been a little bit better.
It could have been better if Scheffler was chasing him, or if one of these giants was chasing him.
Scheffler had a good final round, but the only way that it could have been better for me is if the person that was applying the pressure was paired with him. And they're going shot for shot. That was what the whole appeal was. That's what it was looking like. Oh, man, Bryson and Rory have been going shot for shot this entire tournament. Hopefully they deliver on Sunday. Bryson didn't hold up his end of the deal, because that's an additional pressure. Now you're going to have to make this putt with Bryson DeChambeau over your shoulder. It's a different kind of pressure, and it's the only way that you could have framed it a little bit cooler.
I believe there are other ways to have framed it cooler by just making it something that didn't allow him to Rory, because he was still Rorying and not paying for it because he was compensating. But there could have been someone out there making him pay for that. Like somebody who's better at golf than he is, even though he's exceptional at golf.
Yeah, he fell back to the tide. There were guys that had great rounds, Scheffler among them, but it was just they had to make up too much ground there. So, like, I hear you. I don't disagree. I'd much rather Scotty Scheffler be standing over his shoulder, but the distance between them heading into the final round was such that it was Bryson. That was supposed to be the guy that held up his end of the deal, and he didn't.
I also think that him having some pretty bad shots actually made for a better final round, because then he had to make some of the literally like the best shots of his life to win it. And like he put the pressure on himself by choking a couple times, but then it turned around and it was like Chris said, it was like one hole you were like, Jesus Christ, man, like you were blowing it. Yeah. And then the next hole is like, holy, that was incredible. I don't know how he put it through the trees and got it that close to the pin.
Let's play some sound so that you can hear in his own words what the emotion was for Rory McIlroy.
But, you know, there's talking about it and actually doing it. And, yeah, today was difficult. I was unbelievably nervous this morning, really nervous on the first hole, as you witnessed with the double. But, as I said, that sort of calmed me down. And, you know, I was able to bounce back and show, you know, that resilience that I've talked about a lot. And, yeah, no, look, it was a heavy weight to carry, and, you know, thankfully now I don't have to carry it, and it frees me up, and, you know I'm coming back here every year, which is lovely.
I read some stories about, as I do every year, what an economic insanity the Masters is. Like, there are people there who pay for their mortgages by just Airbnb-ing their homes for the week. One of the things that golf does extraordinarily well, put up the emotion again of Rory just walking through here, where the entire story that goes back decades, you can actually see on his face. Do you realize how incredible the access is here? Because all throughout sports, contractually, there are all sorts of interviews, sideline interviews. Let's talk to this person now. It's all manufactured nothing. Look at this as the access where you are closer to this human being than anyone in the world, as he feels the best things he's ever felt at golf. And one of the reasons this tournament is because of how sacred the televising of it is, and Nance is whispering the whole time that he's talking about this.
Oh, the production knocked it out the park. That was just such a well-produced moment in time, and the afterglow was just delivering and made it that much better. I remember like the celebration more than the tremendous day of golf, and it was awesome.
This is the last event where, obviously because they banned cell phones, people still wave their hats like this, right, when they're celebrating? What's another event where people are waving their caps in the air?
Horse racing, they still do it, right?
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think at the Kentucky Derby, it's still part of the...
People wave their caps?
Yeah, it's still part of it.
Oh, man.
Can we shout out the camera guy walking backwards with Rory through this? Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of hills. This is not an easy walk to walk backwards. He did it for like
Shout out to his grip, who probably has a hand on the back, coiling, saying, go this way, go that way.
Do me a favor, please, video, and I will wait and filibuster for you to do this, because the best camera work that I saw this weekend before this is when somebody on Twitter sent out what they called the best camera work they've ever seen of a diver being attacked by an octopus. Please find that video so that we can play it here. But in the interim, can you find me an artificial intelligence Stugotz? This is part of what I'm working with John Amici on, seeing what we can do to improve our corporate culture around here. Can we get some Stugotz talking about what it is that he witnessed yesterday? Because I'm assuming that most people want to hear Masters Week, Dano, from Stugotz. And also, I want to put some bets in for tomorrow on whether, when Stugotz gets here tomorrow, how many times he will call him McIlroy instead of McIlroy, because he's got a weird golf dyslexia that only applies to Rory.
The screen right now, this is the cameraman walking with his guy behind him, guiding him where to go. Shout out to both of them. The grips, they never get the credit they deserve. Shout out to the grips.
Oh, Dano, I thought you'd never get to me. Masters Week. Rory, congrats, McIlroy. You finally did it. Now do it again next year. And do it without a playoff. Playoffs. Best words in sports. Top 5 best words in golf. Number 5, hole in one. Number 4, Augusta.
Hole in one is not a word.
Number 3, hello friends.
That's not a word either.
Number 2, playoff. Number 1, It's Sunday and Tiger's in the hunt.
Put up that video
That's my list.
of an octopus attacking a scuba diver's face.
What happened there?
This is this is good camera work right here.